ChampsTalk, als je knokken niet meer krijgt uit je kop. ChampsTalk, ouwe hoeren zonder rem op de klok. ChampsTalk, voor mijn strijders en mijn vechters pas zinnen. Ga lekker zitten en laten we beginnen met de ChampsTalk.
Alright, welcome everybody. We're back here with a legend straight from Australia, Chad the Shark Collins. How are you doing, sir?
Very good, thank you. Thank you very much for having me on your podcast. I'm excited.
So it's 8 p.m. where you are?
Yeah, it's night time. I've just finished my afternoon training session. Come home, had some food, had a shower, getting ready for bed.
And as we were just discussing off camera a second ago, so you like to get a proper sleep, got a good routine, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Obviously, we got to get out and do it all again in the morning, twice a day. So it's good to get a good sleep in and feel better in the morning rather than feeling a bit rough, wishing you had a few more hours.
Is it the same? Like, do you have the same kind of training session in the morning and in the evenings?
Yeah, I only do say the same session every day. I do the same session every day, but say mornings and night times is different. And every second day I'll alternate, say, legs and arms to my explosive fight-like specific sort of training, yeah. And then some days I won't do it.
Yeah.
But it's always Muay Thai.
Always Muay Thai.
Or kickboxing, yeah. It's always pad work.
Yeah, we'll get into that because I'm curious to know, because you've got so many accolades. You've both a Muay Thai champion, a kickboxing champion, and you do boxing as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I haven't actually ever boxed.
My bad.
It didn't actually
Apologies.
go ahead.
Okay.
But definitely, I've used my hands a lot. Yeah.
But were you supposed to box then and that got cancelled?
Yeah,
or something?
I was matched to have a boxing fight and it didn't happen. Yeah.
Is it rescheduled or on the horizon?
No. So this is during COVID. It was probably 3 years ago now. I was matched to have a professional boxing fight against Steve Sparks and didn't go ahead. I had a head injury.
Oh.
Yeah, so sparring with a fellow called Chris George, and I just it wasn't safe to continue. It was about 3 weeks before the fight. But
and you're fully healed now, I hope, right?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, yeah. We're on. We're rocking and rolling.
All right, so let's touch on home a little bit. So why the nickname the Shark? I think I know, but
yeah. So that sort of come from when I moved to Thailand. So I was 21 after I've been to Australia, and I moved to Thailand, living at Sancti Noy's gym. He'd seen a photo of me spearfishing back home in Australia, and behind me in the ocean there were sharks. And he's like, "Oh, you swim with sharks? That's crazy!" Like, and I was like, "Yeah, it's Australia. Like, everyone sort of where I live goes spearfishing and surfing and that, yeah." And so he's like, "You're the shark," and then he's like, "Unless you want to be the crocodile, you can be the crocodile if you want." And I'm like, "Nah, bro, I'll go the shark."
Have you had any experience with crocodiles before?
No, I haven't had any run-ins with them, no. But sharks, many. I've had many encounters with them. Yeah, I've had a few try and eat me.
Really? Is it true?
Yeah,
you
mate.
got to punch them if they in the nose, or I don't know if it's a false
yeah,
story.
or
but...
yes, that's where all the senses are. Yeah, definitely.
Was
Get that shark, eh? You know where they're gonna try and punch me then, eh?
So, I mean, you've got this amazing. Let's talk about your 2023. Where am I going with this? Because I think the highlight that, at least from an outside observer who's just discovering more about Rise, when I saw that you beat Petchen, and I've just watched the fight actually on my way here.
Okay,
explosive, man.
It's a hard fight. Yeah, it was because I'd only just defended my WBC world title 1 month prior, so I had like a 10-week camp for that fight, which was perfect. I felt like lightning. I felt the best shape of my life, and then I had that fight, and then 4 weeks later I backed it up and I fought Petch. So it was hard, and I split my shin open. That should have been stitched up with about 5 stitches. So I had the whole camp dealing with this, trying to heal it, it got glued and not stitched. So I couldn't kick right, which was something I needed to do against the southpaw the whole fight camp. And then we sort of worked around it, did our best, and it had just sort of closed by the time we got to the fight with Petch. But so when I fought Petch, I felt my shoulders fatigued quite early in the fight. So come round 3, my body was feeling the thing. So it made me had to dig deeper. It made the fight harder for myself. And I think also I was trying to punch to knock out, not punch to score points, which fatigued me a lot more rather than tagging and breaking them. So yeah, it was definitely a really hard fight for me.
What I found really interesting was I think you actually got Petch to box with you, and usually he just loves to kick. So that was really intriguing because there was times you were both like, straight in front of each other, uppercuts and
Exactly. So I
everything.
was talking to my father the other day about this, and I said he's either in and he holds on and won't exchange, or he's out and he's got that left kick timed perfect. So when I was watching it, I realized that I was pressing a lot to stay in that range where he had to fight. I was forcing him to fight with his hands. And then obviously he fell into it. Slugging, with me also, yeah.
And you went kick to kick for him. How hard does he kick?
Yeah, man, I think it shows in the video. I try to check the kick and it blows me away. Like, it's definitely a hard kick. But I think I've got one goal, I've got one destination, so you don't notice the power at the time. But when I watch it back, I think, damn, that must have been a hard kick. But yeah, I was sore. My leg was all swollen for a good week. I had stitches in that leg. I got 6 stitches in my shin after the fight. So, but yeah, it's definitely sore. Still healing.
Honestly, even if you read the comments, I mean, people are saying it's one of the best fights that they saw in kickboxing, in Rise, and in general. I mean, it was so
Yeah,
technical. You guys both went at it. And a lot of our viewership, sorry, is obviously acquainted with Petch through Glory, and we've seen
yeah,
him just
yeah,
steamroll through people. So
yeah,
yeah, it was
exactly.
such an
Yeah.
interesting fight between you two.
I think it was definitely. It actually received Fight of the Night, and we got an extra $1,000 for that, so that was good. um, So it received Fight of the Night, and then I think it got a couple of other awards as well. But it was that whole show was top level. It was great, actually.
There was a few Dutch fighters on there as well, I believe.
Yeah, man,
There was a
it
few
was
Dutch
a high
fighters.
level show, and
Was
the Japanese boys that were fighting representing Japan, they were the best that they have. And I've fought a lot of them, and I've fought alongside of them before. And it was cool that night. They had me in the Japanese corner, so I was with all the Japanese people, and then Petch was with all the Thais, which all the other Westerners that the Japanese were fighting were there as well. And there was lots of Thais there because of that, the final of the 8-man. And so it was great. They treated me like one of their own. It was really cool. It was actually a special night for me. Yeah.
That's incredible. So you are the Rise 65
Yeah.
kg champion. Um, do you have like many things lined up now coming in the coming
Yeah,
months
man.
and weeks?
Things went crazy after that. The phone was ringing. We had a lot of stuff sort of happen. So right now, my schedule, I've got 3 fights in 3 months. Actually, they're all 4 weeks, 4 weeks, 4 weeks. So I think, from what I can say about it, is it goes Dubai on Alpha Fight Series, February 16, which is going to be unreal. It's pretty much my whole gym fighting over there on one card. And then 1 month after that, I'll be back in Japan. I can't remember. I don't think it's in Tokyo, but it's Japan on Rise, the Rise versus K1 show. So I could be fighting a pretty big K1 name. I'm not sure yet. Yoki Yozo would be pretty cool. that would be, I guess he's the top of that side. And then after that, we'll be in Bangkok, from what I know, April 20. Yeah. Which could be the undercard for Borkow versus Manny Pacquiao.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and that would be big.
But what promotion is organizing? Is that bare knuckle or
I'm
something?
not. I think WBC has been
Oh,
given the like sort of been given to run it, to
right.
organize it. I don't know who the actual promoter is. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, loads to touch on then. But since you've just mentioned Bokau, I don't know if I pronounce it right. Is it
Yeah, Borkow.
Bokau? You've also fought a legend in Sanchai.
Yeah.
How did
yeah,
that
yeah,
go?
yeah. That was great. I think, maybe 22, living at St. Ian's. It popped up on 6 days' notice.
Oh wow.
And I was like, well, we were supposed to fight him like 3 months earlier, and it didn't happen. It just, the way it works out, it didn't happen. Politics and stuff. And then it popped up 6 days, and they were like putting me into hard training, like hard training to the point. And they didn't tell me for 2 days who I was fighting. They didn't say anything. And then they told me on like the third day of training who I was fighting. I was like, sweet, it was great. It was motivation. They thought it was going to worry me and I was going to freak out, like that I was fighting someone. But for me, it's like, yeah, I'll grab that with both hands. Like, it's a good opportunity. I fought him, thought I did enough to beat him. And obviously it's on Thai Fight. They give it to the Thais. But it was very close. Like, I thought it should have at least got a draw, if not I won. But it was amazing to share the ring with Sanchai and such a legend of the sport.
Yeah, no, I had a quick glance at it, and you were going toe to toe with him, and in the clinch as well. But he looks a lot like he's playing, like he's smiling a lot. Is that his
Yeah,
personality?
yeah,
What is?
yeah. I think now, as he got older, he's not going to stand in the pocket and trade with a 21-year-old, if that makes sense. He's gonna do what he has to do to win the fight.
Right,
Now
right, right,
being
right.
late 30s and so, but I guess there was a time in his life where he was the man all round, I guess. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh. So you've won a lot of awards as well, I've seen. So like Beyond Kickboxing had you as Breakthrough Fighter of the Year for 2023. How did
Yeah,
that
it's
feel?
crazy. It was great. It was great. I didn't even know they were doing awards. I forgot all about it.
Yeah,
Because of all the other awards that we've already had
yeah,
this year just gone. So it was amazing to wake up to that in the morning, because obviously it's different time here. I wake up every morning, I get Beyond News, so it's great. Um, Beyond is probably one of my favorite kickbox. It was probably my favorite kickboxing page to follow, and I keep up to date with stuff. I love the detail of their release. It's great,
was.
of everything they do. Like, they do proper little write ups. It's great for the sport, I reckon.
Yeah, no, and especially one thing that I think is really going to be good for the sport is the Rise and Glory
Yeah,
collaboration.
because now, like, we got one championship. It's a large organization, and there's other ones that are starting to become a little bit bigger around, like RWS also starting, but it's not on the same level.
Yeah,
So I think Glory is massive as well. But obviously one has this big social media
yeah,
following and
yeah.
everything, which is great for the sport, everything. But if I think these two join together, it equals like something like this. So it's another rival large organization that then will bounce fighters off each other, and it will lift the fight purses, it will lift the sport, it will lift it for the next generation to come through, that will be able to make a proper living off fighting, and not just living off sponsors, I guess, and trying to be the best fighter you can.
It's super interesting you say that because that's a sentiment I've often thought about, which is that Glory, One, Rise, they
Yeah,
should all have tournaments and crossovers.
yeah, bro. Imagine that. Imagine a tournament at every weight, and every large organization puts their one best of each weight, their champion of each weight. That'd be unreal.
Yeah.
Even if it was just a 4-man to start with.
I've seen you call out Jonathan Haggerty. I thought that would be an insane matchup if you ever got it.
I would love to. I would love to. I think it's my dream fight.
Yeah,
I personally think I do Haggerty. I reckon I can put him away.
yeah,
Um, but he's obviously good. I think he's gotten a lot better in the last like 2 or 3 fight camps that he's done. I've seen
yeah,
a lot of progress in the last handful of camps. I think it'll be an exciting fight.
for sure. And
Yeah.
would you want that in Muay Thai or in kickboxing?
Um, Kickboxing, definitely kickboxing. Yeah. Um, obviously he's with one, and yeah, I guess. Yeah, I could go with both. Doesn't matter. Either sport would be great. I
Yeah.
love my elbows, but I'm just more so thinking I like the kickboxing side in one championship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon
So,
it's cool.
so because when I was trying to figure out your style a little bit, I watched two fights that I think kind of brought it home for me. Your fight against Kiros, Kiroshi Harasaka. I don't know if
Hiroki. Yeah,
Hiroki. My bad.
Karasaka. Yeah,
Apologies,
Hiroki. Yeah,
bro.
yeah. That was on Christmas Day, year before, like last year, like 1 year ago.
That was that Matrix stuff.
Yeah,
It was insane. Your combinations, you were fighting far away, as in like at range, loads of
range. Yeah,
combinations. So
fake.
that looked
Mixing. It was mixing those levels like this. Yeah,
that looked like like your kickboxing, the finesse. And then I've
yeah.
seen you in
Okay,
other
thank you.
fights where you're clinching and you're happy to be close up, engaging the
Yeah,
elbows.
yeah.
So
I definitely. I think my heart lays with fighting, like fighting like a dog. Like I love the exchange. That's where my heart lays. But I think I can dip into each area of the sport. Like I love to be that rangy fighter and pick off. Like I love it. I call it my flow. It's such a rhythmistic thing. Like fake this, do that, and then fake that and do this. Like it's my flow. I call it. I love it. So that's more so like how I spar and play around with friends and stuff like that. Sparring. For some reason that night there was no nerves, no nothing. I was just there for a good time to enjoy a trip to Japan and go traveling and fight main event. It was awesome on Christmas Day as well. So I was just there to enjoy it and have a good time.
yeah,
So I think that's what bringing out that fight style in me.
was. But when you do the Muay Thai, like, are you also trying to go for the sweeps and stuff, or is it mostly the clinch work and the elbows?
Yeah, I think when I fight Muay Thai, I'm a real damage person. Hey, I like to break them down over 5 rounds. I think when I'm training clinching, I'm quite good at clinch and sweeps. Like, yeah, very good at sweeps and stuff. But when I fight different. I fight like I want to hurt. I want to like pick that person apart, sort of thing. Break them
Was.
down. If the sweep if it happens, like, obviously or very safely, I'll do it. But I'm not that big on going to it too often in a fight. I just feel like it leaves you for vulnerable mistakes.
So Chad, like, who were the Australian fighters or fighters in general that really like you looked up to when you were coming up?
Yeah, man. I grew up in a great era of Australian Muay Thai. There was a show called Evolution that was run by Nugget from NTG Gym, and it was great. It was the pinnacle. Or it used to get crowds of like 4,000 to 5,000 people in Australia, which is unheard of nowadays. Biggest we get is 1,500. So I grew up watching obviously John Wayne Parr and then Bruce McPhee, which was Preacher, Simon Mong Tong Kong. There was heaps. There was Pixie, and then also there was Aaron Lee, which both Pixie and Aaron Lee are from my gym. A decade and a half ago, a whole decade ago. Yeah. So it's different generation of my gym, and I could go on with the names. There's lots. There's like Flipper, Dane, Daddy Cool. Did you ever hear of Daddy Cool?
I have to be
Mate,
honest, I haven't.
these are great. These are great Aussie fighters.
Was,
That I grew up. It was a really good era of Australian Muay Thai. Yeah.
was. Yeah, I think we need to brush up on our understanding of the Australian side
Yeah.
of kickboxing. I mean, John Wayne Parr is a standout name.
Maybe a big one for you would be Nathan Corbett.
Oh, us. Definitely heard of his name before.
Yeah. So he's actually quite a good personal friend. He gave me a lot of tips when I was in my teens and I got my first sponsors and stuff like that. He told me like what's corny, what's not, what's good, how to keep them happy. Like, he gave me lots of good advice when I was young.
Us. And so your gym is on the east side of Australia, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We're on in the Gold Coast.
Us.
Yeah, it's sunny here. We live on the beach. It's like a city along the beach, sort of, and we get our coldest probably gets down to about, I don't know, 4 or 5, sometimes 0 in the middle of the night, in the middle of winter, and then summers we can have heat up to like say 45 degrees, even hotter sometimes. So we get both weather of great, beautiful weather here
How often do you go swimming, if at all?
every day. Every day.
Nice.
I swim in the ocean every day.
Nice, man.
It's good for the soul.
Nice. And where you are, at least, are the corals still alright? Like, you can still see a lot of fish, or
Yeah. Yes and no. It's getting hammered pretty hard here as well.
was
Yeah.
okay.
It's obviously still beautiful, but it's getting hammered bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually want to put a big shipping terminal in our big Great Barrier Reef that we have. Yeah. It's wild.
Are people speaking out against that? I can imagine.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think nowadays people have a bit more voice.
Yeah.
Hopefully, anyway.
Yeah. So February 16th is Australia versus the world. You're fighting
Yep.
Mohammed Al Hamouti. It's a really good featherweight, actually from not far away from Utrecht. And your teammate is fighting as well, I believe.
Yep. We've got actually there's 4 of us fighting.
Okay.
So there's myself, James Honey, and then there's Jaden, and there's also Jesse.
Was
So they're all bigger boys. I'm the smallest of them all. So I'll be at 65. James will be at 73. I think Astor will be at maybe 90, and Jaden 93 or something. Yeah. So they're all big boys. I think James was supposed to fight.
Juriah, right?
Yeah, Juriah. Sorry. Yeah. Bro, he was like, when I was a kid, one of his videos, one of his fights blew up. Like, he went famous as, it went viral for it. 3-round like banger. It was knockdown for knockdown, and I was like, damn, like watching this. It was like when Facebook before Instagram, maybe. And I remembered him from all that time, and I seen he was going to fight Kaito in Japan. I was like, what? This is such and such. I remember, and then I read everything, and I was like, no way, he's been a bad boy.
Yeah.
And then James was going to fight, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a hard fight. Like, you got fucking trained. Yeah, but then sadly, it's not happening.
Is there an injury or?
I'm not positive, but I think we got told that he's back in prison.
Okay, well, I had no idea. Right.
I don't know. Yeah, that's just what we've been told.
I hope not.
I hope not. Also.
Yeah.
But if so, that's
he's fighting Gregorian now, who's also a monster. I think now your
Yeah,
teammate
okay.
is fighting
Yeah.
Harut Gregorian, who was a welterweight from welterweight, I believe. So and there's a few other standout names. Like Typhoon Ozcan is also going to be on that card.
I've seen
Infusion
that.
fighter, yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
So you boys are going to be representing for your side.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I think there's about 6 Aussies going over, and 4 of them are from our gym. So we're
Nice,
getting some
man.
shirts made up and everything for it. It'd be cool.
Nice.
It'll look good.
And do you guys have a lot of crossover with the MMA scene ever? Like with some of the strikers from there?
Nothing, bro. We're straight stand up. Stand up for life.
I was going to say, like, for example, Volkanovski is also a featherweight, right?
Yeah. He's in Brisbane, so he's only like 1 hour away from us.
Oh, I would love to see you guys train together, man. That would be insane, especially
Yeah,
with
man.
striking.
I should reach out. I should reach out to him. It's a complete different sport. We've never made contact before, but surely being an Aussie and he'd know about Muay Thai for sure.
Yeah.
I should reach out and say good out. Yeah,
It
for sure.
would be really cool. Who is on your radar from like the Glory featherweight division, if anyone, or lightweights, for example?
I want Petch's belt.
Oh.
I love Petch. He's my good mate. And Adrian, they're great. But straight up, I want the 65 kilo belt. It's a dream.
I understand.
I've watched it ever since I was a little kid.
Yeah. Yeah, in your fight as well, he was smiling at you and stuff. I don't know if he does that with everyone,
but when he was smiling at me, I was like, that's an acknowledgement. You're either hiding it. You're hiding that you're tired or something like so. I was trying to fuel off that and feed off that.
Yeah, featherweight has some really explosive guys at the moment. At least the guys that we've seen in from Glory, from the Dutch side, and Kaito was a pretty exciting addition as well. We've had him on a few cards.
Hey, Kaido is really underrated fighter, I reckon.
Was
His last fight on Rise, how's the way he come out round one, come out straight away like banging. He was ready to fight.
was
When that happened, I was like, oh, this is a new Kaido. I like this. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I still think the best of Kaido is yet to come because he's still growing. I
Was
fought him at 65 kilo, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And now he's fighting, I think that was 72 and a half.
yeah, yeah. Oh, it's fascinating because like usually when we think of Muay Thai, like Thailand is the standout place that you think of, but
Yeah,
Australia has this growing fight scene, and it probably has done in the past. Same thing with New Zealand, you've got all these like standout
yeah,
MMA fighters, boxers, and in Japan has kickboxing, which I hadn't
yeah.
really wasn't really always aware of.
Haven't tapped into, yeah, yeah. I got real lucky. I was training in Phuket at Revolution Gym, and Chiza, the WBC Japan representative, she just turned up at the gym to train and come meet me. And she's like, I want to bring you to Japan. Pretty much that was
Us,
how it went
us,
straight
us,
away.
us.
And she's been with me my whole Japan. Anything I've ever done in Japan, she's organised it. She's been there for me. She's been there with me. She's in my corner every fight. Um, I love her. She's like my own family. Hey, she's unreal.
Us,
Yeah,
man. And does your dad also supervise some of your trainings? I think I saw some of that on
yeah.
Instagram.
So I started my fight career with my dad,
Us.
and I had my first, I think, 21 fights or something for dad. Until dad said, "Hey, like I've taught you everything I can teach you. You've surpassed me. Like I think it's time that I pass you on to the next person that knows more." And that was how I moved on from dad. But since I've moved back from Thailand, which was the start of COVID, so I've been back here for about 3 years. Um, I would say, yeah, Strike Force 3 years. So I've been at Strike Force for about 3 years, back in Australia for about 4.
Us.
Um, since I've been training at Strike Force, I'd say the last year and a half, my dad has moved into my place because he's not well. He's got Parkinson's.
Oh,
So he's
sorry to
moved
hear
in
that.
with me,
Yeah.
and he just comes to training with me every afternoon. So he sleeps in the morning and then comes to training in the afternoon. So it's great. It's great to have Mark P's my trainer, my other pad holders and stuff, and we train, we grind. But Dad's there counting my sit ups,
Us.
counting
Us.
my kicks on the bag. He's there, yeah, he's like my conscience.
Us. So you're from
It's
a
good. It's great.
fighting family.
It's great. Yeah, exactly. It's great to have my dad there to go through it all with.
I wish him health, man. I wish him health.
Thank you very much,
Um, yeah, champ. So any plan to come to the Netherlands anytime? Anything on the
mate.
horizon?
Um, there was talk of something maybe,
Okay.
but I just never heard it. Is there a show happening, a glory show going there soon?
March the 9th.
Yeah. So I heard that they were going to give me a call for that show, but
But
haven't
nothing yet.
called. So
Okay.
Glory,
Okay.
I'm still waiting for your phone call.
Yeah. Let's hope that happens. Let's hope that happens. Yeah, and hit us up when you come. Um, One last thing I wanted to ask you, because you're probably a bit familiar with the Japanese scene, right? Takeru,
Yeah.
he's suddenly come
Yeah.
on the radar because of this fight with Rodtang.
Yeah.
What organization is he from?
He's from K1.
Right,
He's a K1 boy.
right,
Yeah, the
right.
promotion K1. Yeah. So, he headlined K1 for ages, and then there was he ripped through there, and Tension ripped through Rise and Ryzen and all that. So they were like the pinnacle of the two, and then they had that mega promotion, I think a year and a half ago, called The Match.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, Tokyo Dome. The gate or something, mate, was something like $27 million.
Oh,
The revenue
wow.
from the gate. It's the largest any promotion, larger than any UFC, any Pride, anything that's ever been made through the gate. $27 million. There were front rows. The first 5 row seats were $30,000. It's crazy, hey. And this was for Tension versus Takeru.
Yeah,
They fought their mate. They had a 3-round fight. I think it might have went an extension round or something. I can't remember.
right.
Anyway, Tension wins.
Yeah.
But this was a mega fight. This was a big thing for, and then I think it sort of attention has gone to boxing now.
Yeah.
So then Tuckaroo was left, and who was there for? So I think he sort of started knowing that he had to venture international. That's the way I seen it.
Yeah.
Like, what more can you do when you've conquered the whole country?
Yeah.
You've got to move on international. And I think a lot of Japanese hadn't done that in the past. There's a very good circuit in Japan of kickboxers that never leave and fight outside of their circuit. That I think would rip through a lot of the world.
So maybe we'll see you in like a Rise versus K1, like you mentioned a second ago, right?
I think there's a very strong possibility that could happen.
Is there anyone that we need to look out for from K1? Because like Rise, I'm like starting to get a bit familiar with.
Yoki Yozo.
Okay, Yoki Ozo. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Yoki Yozo. Yeah.
Yozo.
If you want a bit of gossip, I don't know if you've seen, there's a 8-man happening in December or at the end of the year or something, maybe with Glory and
Rise. Yeah.
So it's looking like I might be in that 8-man. So it could be fun.
I would hope so, since you're the champ.
Yeah. So it's going to be, I think, 4 Rise, 4 of the best from Rise and 4 of the best from Glory.
Featherweights.
So 65 kilo. It could possibly mean Petch and I have to fight again.
Yeah. No,
so it'll be another hard fight.
but it's super cool because you seem to have like a friendly rivalry with him.
But he's great. I think Petch is not like a very, a lot of Thai people are very quiet, keep to themselves, and don't speak out. Where Petch is like another Westerner, sort of like you talk to him, he talks back, or he'll talk first. He's not scared to say good day, and he'll have a beer, he'll have a laugh, and everything. He's one of the boys. He's cool. Yeah, he's great.
Okay. Chad, thank you so much for your time, mate. Any message you want to give to your fans?
First of all, thank you very much for having me on the show, bro. It's exciting. It's cool. I'm glad that there's a few people out in the world that are starting to notice me. I feel like I'm 28 now. I've had my whole career, and a lot of people haven't noticed who I am. I'm not big on talking. I stay pretty quiet, and I try not to mouth off or anything. I like to think my fighting can do its talking. So a big thank you to those people that do follow me, and most of all, massive thank you to my sponsors that make my life possible, because without them I'd be working 5 or 6 days a week, struggling to be in the gym. So thank you to everyone that makes my life possible, including podcasts like this.
We hope to speak to you again, and we hope that all success and health to you in the coming year and in your fights on the 16th.
Unreal. Let's do another chat in 12 months' time. We've done another year.
Hopefully before that, sir. Hopefully before that.
Yeah, man. Let's do it whenever. I'm always free. I'm always ready for a chat.
You have to
I'm
look
just sitting
us
in
up.
my room now.
When you come to the Netherlands, you have to look us up. We'll look after you, man.
Yeah, man. I'm thinking just to put, I say, a few wheels in motion, when I do finish my career, so obviously I'm 28 now, I've probably got maximum 5 years left or something, but when I do, I'm going to do a big world tour seminar. So I'm going to go through the whole world, and I'm going to cover, it might take 12 months to go through everywhere, but I'm going to do a big seminar. So I'll definitely at some point come through the Netherlands and do a bunch of seminars.
The way you do your spinning back fist, like there are a couple of times, like I think you throw a low kick and then, or you throw the check. You block with a check and then you come around. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. So that could definitely be in the seminar if you want it. That just to be honest, that's not something that I never trained recently or anything. My dad used to make me do that stuff as a kid.
Yeah,
he used to make me like make sure I lock my eyes onto the target and then spin, sort of thing. But it's not something that I've trained. It just comes out naturally when I fight now. Yeah. Alrighty.
Thank you, mate.
ChampsTalk, als je knokken niet meer krijgt uit je kop. ChampsTalk, ouwe hoeren zonder rem op de klok. ChampsTalk, voor mijn strijders en mijn vechters pas zinnen. Ga lekker zitten en laten we beginnen met de ChampsTalk.